Hi, I'm Melissa Cobb. Come fly with AOPA. This week, flying into Anchorage's Lake Hood Seaplane Base, the latest news from the National Business Aviation's annual show, and 3 stow-and-go ground transportation options.
AOPA keeps flying safe, accessible, and fun by protecting your freedom to fly. We are the most trusted one-stop resource for all things related to general aviation. Become an AOPA pilot today.
Lake Hood Seaplane Base in Anchorage, Alaska is the busiest seaplane base in the world. AOPA Editor-at-Large Dave Hirschman takes us along for an arrival and a departure from the seaplane base in a Cessna Caravan on amphibious floats.
Lake Hood in Anchorage, Alaska is the world's busiest seaplane base, and it's co-located with an international airport and rapidly changing weather. Coordinating VFR seaplanes and massive Boeing 747s, as well as fast-moving military aircraft at nearby Elmendorf Air Force Base, takes lots of effort. Here, I'm flying with Patrick Carter, an Alaska Airlines and Super Cub pilot, to get the benefit of his local knowledge. Otherwise, I'm sure these obscure waypoints would have been impossible for me to find.
Speed's alive. 7 left, third land.
7 left, third land.
A little back pressure to get these
Alaska 89, contact departure.
weight off the nose wheels.
Good 89. Alaska 9560, runway 33, line up and wait. Line up and wait, Alaska 9560.
Positive rate and bull. Okay, so there's the point up there at like 12:30, 1 o'clock. The boat hull's at 12 o'clock, so we want to be a little bit left of that. So turn north now, and you can see what the power lines. And then 1,200 feet in the boat hull. So see that like metal chunk sitting on the beach over there?
I do.
So just left of that. That metal chunk's the boat hull.
Gotcha.
Perfect, and you can see that's the boat hull, and that's Point McKenzie.
Gotcha.
7 left, clear to land, Alaska.
I would not have picked out that boat hull. That's why I'm like, this is, you have to be local or have someone show you. So what I'm gonna do now is we'll turn around and then we'll go back into Point McKenzie. And then arriving aircraft proceed inbound from Point McKenzie as depicted, cross mid-channel at Kinnick, either at 1200 or at or above 22. So we'll do it at 12 on floats. Makes it easy, we can float. The weird one is when he's gonna stay direct to the ballpark. And then I'll point out where the ballpark is and you would have
No idea.
I still have no idea it's a ballpark. I only know because I've flown over it enough times to see that it's a ballpark after I'm past it. Lake Hood Tower, good afternoon. Caravan 208 Juliet Kilo is approaching Point McKenzie for the water.
Number 208 Juliet Kilo, Lake Hood Tower, report the ballpark for west.
Report the ballpark for west, 8 Juliet Kilo. All right, so you've got the point here. Yep. And then you're gonna make about as you're going up here, you're just gonna turn left about 5 degrees, 5-10 degrees. You can't hardly tell where it is unless you've been over it.
Okay.
It's so hard.
I cannot tell at all.
Yeah.
Okay. So there, I see like a lake here.
Yep. It's to the right of the lake. You're doing it just about right, and you can see how critical these waypoints are because you see the boat hull right there. The outbound traffic's over the boat hull. Inbound's over Point McKenzie. It's pretty nutty. Now you can start to make out where there could be a ballpark behind some trees.
I see some lights, I think.
Yeah, just head straight for that.
Okay. Boy, this is so tight because we're going to make a right base here soon, right?
Yep, and about 5 degrees right. You can start descending now.
Okay.
We're kind of on we're on a 45 to downwind right now.
Okay.
And we're going to enter to the base and then turn hard.
Okay, and we're landing 2-5. Gotcha.
We're landing that way. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, and I'd keep coming down. 8 Juliet Kilo's ballpark for the water.
3 Juliet Kilo, west, clear to land.
Clear to land west, 8 Juliet Kilo. You see the island out there?
I do.
Okay, so we're going to land on the opposite side of that.
Gotcha. Look, start the right turn.
Yep.
And we're landing on the far side.
Yep.
Wow, that's some stunning scenery, and I don't know about you, but I agree with Dave. Some of those checkpoints would be really hard to find if you didn't have a local flying with you. This week, many AOPA staff members are on site at the National Business Aviation Association's annual Business Aviation Convention and Exposition. They're there gathering the latest news in the industry. This year, NBAA President Ed Bolin announced a new campaign for business aviation.
From the time we began flying, we've always been about how do we do that more efficiently? How do we use less fuel? And that is effectively synonymous with sustainability. And we need to recognize as an industry that we have a 40-year track record of reducing our emissions. Today, because of the leadership of this industry, we have technologies that are going to get us to net zero. And we have a commitment to be there. And so we have our new logo, Climbing Fast. We've gone from 4 words to 2 words. We've indicated that we are moving forward aggressively, that this industry is indeed climbing, and we're doing it fast. We're doing it with a sense of urgency.
The Unified Industry Campaign includes 10 organizations, and AOPA is one of those involved. Well, speaking of sustainability, during the NBAA convention, the Environmental Protection Agency came out with an endangerment finding against leaded aviation fuel. AOPA Senior Vice President of Media and Marketing Colin Stagnito caught up with AOPA President Mark Baker to talk through what this endangerment finding means for aviation and what AOPA is doing to help get the lead out of aviation fuel.
Mark, what does that mean for the future availability of avgas?
Well, it means a lot. It means that basically the clock has started for the EPA to work with the FAA and the industry to come up with a safe solution that can commercially replace 100 low lead. So the clock has started. And as you know, the industry committed 18 months ago to 2030 or no later than, hopefully sooner than, to have a commercially available avgas alternative that has lead free. So we're not arguing with the point of view, we just need to have the time to commercially advance the right fuel that will work with all piston aviation airplanes.
And does the EPA have the ability to say, stop selling avgas in America? Could they make that decree and have that effective soon?
So that's really an important part, Colin, is that the EPA does not regulate the fuel. It makes a recommendation to the FAA, who does regulate the fuel that we go with, and gives them the notice to say it's time to change out this fuel requirement. It does not mean that 100 low lead should be stopped being sold anywhere. We know there'll be a few places that'll try and do that because they don't like their airport for whatever reason. Yeah. And so we've got to have an eyes and ears to make sure that that doesn't happen, because the commitment from the FAA, you have to keep 100 low lead available until an alternative is in place.
Okay, so the FAA is committed to that. The FAA is not going to stop the sale of 100 low lead today.
Right. The FAA is our friend right now and trying to make sure we have a supply that's safe and available for our general aviation 170,000 piston airplanes out there.
So would you characterize it as this endangerment finding has long-term consequences, but for today, there's an available supply of 100 low lead and it's business as usual?
I would characterize exactly that there is no reason to panic today. We have been working on this thing for years. We're now closer than we were several years ago, but we still got to get an assurance that all this fuel is in the right place, commercially available, that everybody's got comfortable with it, whether it's an STC fuel or something that comes through the PAFing program.
So what is AOPA doing to speed up the change from leaded fuel to unleaded fuel?
So it's a really important part of what we do for our members, is make sure that we have eyes and ears out there to see what's going on. And because of AOPA's presence, it's pulled the whole industry together. I've been the co-chair for the Eagle, which started about 18 months ago, which has refiners, fuelers, distributors, FBOs, engine manufacturers, Gamma, all the other associations are involved. So we're on the common page to make sure that we have everybody thinking, hearing the same things at the same time so we can advance the ball. It really wasn't happening until 18 months ago that we had everybody around the same table.
Great. Well, thank you very much for the information.
You can find the full interview on our YouTube channel. Just click on the link in the upper right of the screen. Well, the NBAA show offers manufacturers the opportunity to showcase the latest designs in business aviation, and we show you 5 of the newest aircraft at the show.
Every year at NBAA, Honeywell delivers a business aviation forecast. And this year, they forecast 8,500 new jets would be delivered over the next 10 years. That's 500 more jets than they forecast just a year ago. And new users to business aviation are driving this demand. These are individuals that either couldn't fly commercially or wouldn't fly commercially during COVID. In order to fulfill this demand, manufacturers are taking models that are very successful and adding upgrades. And those upgrades include sustainable materials, more legroom, better avionics, and sustainability also includes sustainable aviation fuel. Let's take a look at some of those models that'll be delivered over the next 10 years. We're at Textron Aviation, standing in front of a mock-up of the Cessna Citation CJ3 Gen 2. Jimmy, could you give us an overview of some of the most significant upgrades that you're bringing to market in this aircraft?
Yeah, I sure can, Colin, and thank you for joining us. This has been touted as the most comprehensive Gen 2 announcement to date. And what we mean by that is we're giving improvements to the aircraft. Whether you're a pilot or you're a turn-right passenger, there's something in here for you. So to quickly go over a couple of the heavy hitters, starting in the cockpit, we have 4.5 inches of additional seat travel in the PIC seat, coupling with the new software upgrade and some of the new hardware upgrades, including Garmin auto throttles and GDL60 for aircraft connectivity. Going back through the cabin, you've got technology upgrades from wireless charging trays and USB-C ports throughout to RGB accent lighting control. Going back into the lavatory, it's an all-new reimagined space with cool view skylights to bring in that nice warm ambient natural lighting. We're very excited about these changes and they've been very well received.
Thank you very much, Jimmy.
Absolutely, thank you.
So also at the Textron Aviation booth is a mock-up of the Cessna Citation Ascend, expected to be delivered to customers in 2025?
Yes, sir, at the beginning of 2025.
Tell us a little bit about this aircraft.
Yeah, so this aircraft continues the strong legacy of the 560 XL family. So great performance, actually enhancing performance a little bit with a little bit more range and payload capability on this aircraft, but then giving the pilots and the passengers so much more. So starting in the front of the airplane, we are now making the transition to Garmin G5000 avionics with full regime auto throttles. So great enhancement there from a cockpit technology standpoint. So going back into the cabin, we're excited to bring, of course, the all-new flat floor to this cabin. It's a very comfortable upgrade for our passengers. And then focusing on technology upgrades like the electronic release to the cabin seats, 19 USB-C ports throughout the aircraft, a wireless cabin management system that's second to none, very intuitive, full control of the cabin at the touch of your fingers. And looking at things like electronic seat mapping to make sure that the seats are as comfortable as they can possibly be. Just things like that, and injecting comfort and ease of operation into this platform.
Thank you very much, Jimmy.
Absolutely, thank you.
This week, Embraer debuted their Phenom 100EX. And this is a fully certified, ready for sale aircraft. Jay, could you walk us through some of the major upgrades that you've made with this model?
Colin, I would love to. The 100EX represents experience and excellence, really experience excellence. And so when putting that together, what would be so excellent? Well, how about 3 extra inches of cockpit space in the seat? How about an open bulkhead for immersion in and out of the cockpit into the cabin, where your passenger can actually see the wonderful job you're doing flying your airplane, and you can actually talk to them. And then also ROAS, runway overrun awareness. I mean, it's amazing aircraft performance-wise. Technology, we've expanded the cabin, we've gained extra head clearance, extra seat width, extra aisle width, and new interior trim, including the upper tech panel, which is kind of the butler with wings. He's there when you need him and not there when you don't, so he's not disturbing you the whole time, which is really part of our DNA that's come from our other aircraft, finally now into the Phenom 100.
What is the base price for the Phenom 100EX?
We're at $5 million as a base price.
When do you expect the first delivery?
First delivery will be first quarter 2024. The airplane's triple certified already, so it's ready to go, and we're selling out future orders.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Jay.
Yeah, thank you, Colin. Nice to see you.
Honda announced a couple of years ago at NBAA that they were going to build a larger jet than the Elite 2. And in fact, they had this mock-up on display. The big news this week is, well, 2 things. First of all, they announced in June that they would absolutely produce this aircraft. And number 2, they've named the aircraft. It's called the Honda Jet Echelon. The aircraft is expected to be first flown in 2026 and certified in 2028. I hope you enjoyed this tour of new jets introduced this week at NBAA. And although you may not have heard it during some of these tours, sustainability is a big issue here this week. From using recyclable materials on the aircraft to sustainable aviation fuel, it is a very big deal for the business aviation community moving forward.
Also at the show, former AOPA Editor-in-Chief Tom Haynes was honored with the David W. Evald Platinum Wing Award. He was honored for his lifetime achievement in aviation journalism. Tom spent 34 years of his aviation journalism career at AOPA. 28 of those were as editor-in-chief, and he still covers aviation events across the country.
It's been an amazing ride. I've gotten to fly Jonah Aviation airplanes all over the world, and hopefully told a few stories and maybe helped some people along the way to be a little bit safer and maybe to inspire them a little bit to go out and fly an airplane a little bit more. But really, for me, it's been the thrill, and I've been inspired by so many people in this room and in other parts of aviation. So thank you all for a wonderful time.
Well, congratulations, Tom, on that well-deserved honor. In other industry news, Hartzell Propeller, that's a family-owned business. They've been owned by the same family for nearly 4 decades, based right here in Ohio. It's been sold to a private equity firm, Arcline Investment Management. Now, Arcline said that it plans to invest in Hartzell and its subsidiaries to help facilitate the next wave of growth for the company. ForeFlight is going to be releasing an update to its app, and that's going to include engine out instructions that's going to be overlaid on a 3D map. I know that's going to come in handy for a lot of ForeFlight subscribers, especially those like me who have it up, front and center right there on every flight. Well, we have added a new calendar of events we've integrated into the AOPA Airport directory. What this will do is allow you to click on the Find Events tab once you get to the airport detail page in the airport directory. And then that will show you events that have been entered within 100 miles of the airport. They can be virtual or in person, things like air shows, fly-ins, webinars. To find those events at an airport near you or one that you're going to be going to, just go to www.aopa.org/destinations. And if you're looking for a way to get around at airport events or even your home airport, or maybe you want to explore a new destination without depending on a courtesy car or a rental car, AOPA video editor Michelle Walker shows us 3 stow-and-go ground transportation options, 2 folding bikes, and an electric scooter that also folds.
The 3 options we're going to take a look at are the Zizzo Via folding bicycle, the Pedigo latch folding e-bike, and the Iveta electric scooter. So this is the Zizzo Via folding bike. It's got a 7-speed shifter. It comes in a couple different colors. It's about $389. It weighs 27 pounds. And since it is a traditional bicycle, a pedal bike, there's no range restriction. It's just as far as you're willing to take it. This is the Pedigo latch folding electric bike. It's the most complex and feature heavy of all of the options. It's also the most expensive at $2,795 and the heaviest at 47 pounds. But it is the best for longer distances. It has a maximum range of about 53 miles. It also has the most safety features, so it's got a headlight and a tail light with a brake light on it. It also is able to carry the most stuff. It has a cargo rack on the back. And it's pretty user-friendly. You've got all of the controls on the screen here, and you can adjust the speed and the level for which the electric component helps, and the throttle on the right. The Iveta scooter is good for medium-length trips. It has a range of about 17 miles and top speed of 19 miles an hour. It weighs about 33 pounds, and it costs $269. It's really easy to ride. You just turn it on with the center button, and then you have the throttle on the right hand and you just stand on it. The brake is on the left, and it's really easy to start and stop. You just have to be careful. I did notice that the brake on it is really sensitive. So if you were going closer to the top speed and you hit the brake, there's a good chance you would, I don't know if it would flip, but it felt a little unstable. So you definitely want to slow down more gradually and gently use the brake. But other than that, it's super user-friendly. You just hop on and go. So in addition to using these transport options to get around the airport, you could also load them up in an airplane and take them to another airport, ride around there, ride into town. So I was able to get the scooter in through the baggage compartment of this 172, but the 2 folding bikes didn't fit through the baggage door, but I was able to get them through the front door and put them in the back seat of the airplane. All of them are kind of a struggle to get in. They're a little bit big and bulky and heavy, so it'd be much easier with a second person, or just really take your time while you're trying to put them in, and there might be other airplanes that are an even better option to fit them in.
You can check out her full review on our YouTube channel. Just click on the link in the upper right of your screen. And for more great gear ideas for pilots, be sure to look at the November issue of AOPA Pilot Magazine that'll be coming out real soon. Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's show. Please like and subscribe to stay up to date on all our latest videos. This week, we leave you with some footage of the Canadian Forces Snowbirds flying at Aero Gatineau, Ottawa. It's an air show in Canada. Be sure to send in your favorite flying videos. We'll drop a link in the description below. If you're not already an AOPA pilot, we'd love for you to join us. Just click the link at the end of this video to learn more about our trial membership. We'll see you next week.
2023 Canadian Forces Snowbirds.
Bye-bye.